Welcome to my channel Pakistan Freedom, a platform where we discuss everything about Pakistan in general. Please like and subscribe to our channel for regular updates. Today's topic is changes. By the Independence Act, the word change can be defined as the act or process of making or becoming different. So why do we need change? Change is important because it helps us to adapt to new circumstances. It allows us to learn from our mistakes and improve our lives. When we embrace change, we open ourselves up to new possibilities and opportunities. But sometimes change can be difficult. It can be scary to step outside of our comfort zones and embrace the unknown. However, with a positive attitude and a willingness to learn, we can make the transition to a new way of life much easier. We should never shy away from change. It is an essential part of life and can lead us to a better future. Pakistan is a country that was created in 1947 when the British Raj was dissolved. At that time, Pakistan was made up of the modern countries of Pakistan and Bangladesh. However, in 1971, Bangladesh became its own independent country, leaving Pakistan with its current borders. Since then, Pakistan has undergone many changes both internally and externally. Internally, Pakistan has seen a number of changes in its government and policies. For example, Pakistan has been ruled by both civilian and military governments, and the country has shifted from being a monarchy to being a republic. Additionally, Pakistan has changed its policies on a number of issues over the years, such as its stance on Kashmir and its relationship with the United States. Externally, Pakistan has also undergone significant changes since its independence. For example, the country has experienced both periods of war and peace with its neighbors. Additionally, Pakistan has changed its relationship with the United States and other Western countries. Over the years, the country has also become increasingly connected to the global economy through trade and investment. Despite all of these changes, some things about Pakistan have remained constant since its independence. For example, the country's commitment to Islam as a state religion has remained strong. Additionally, Pakistan has always been a nuclear power, and it has never wavered in its support for its allies. Through all of these changes, Pakistan has remained a resilient and adaptable country. The people of Pakistan have been able to adjust to new circumstances and maintain their cultural and religious traditions. Now let's talk about some of the specific ways in which Pakistan has changed since its independence. The first way in which Pakistan has changed is in terms of its government and policies. As mentioned earlier, Pakistan has been ruled by both civilian and military governments. The country's first prime minister was Liaquat Ali Khan, who served from 1947 to 1951. However, in 1958, the first military coup took place, and General Muhammad Ayub Khan became the president of Pakistan. This was followed by a period of military rule that lasted until 1971. After the country split into modern Pakistan and Bangladesh, civilian rule was restored, and Benazir Bhutto became the prime minister in 1988. However, this did not last long, and the country was once again placed under military rule in 1993. In 1999, another military coup took place, and Pervez Musharraf became the president of Pakistan. He ruled the country until 2008 when he resigned following widespread protests. Since then, Pakistan has had a number of civilian governments, although the country continues to experience periods of political instability. In addition to changes in government, Pakistan has also seen changes in its policies on a number of issues. For example, the country's stance on Kashmir has evolved over time. When Pakistan was created in 1947, the region of Kashmir was in dispute between the new country and the Indian Empire. The issue was complicated by the fact that the majority of Kashmiris were Muslim, but the ruler of the state was Hindu. In 1948, war broke out between Pakistan and India over Kashmir, and the fighting continued for several years. Eventually, a ceasefire was established and the line of control was created to divide the region between Pakistan and India. However, the issue remains a source of tension between the two countries to this day. Another issue on which Pakistan's policies have changed is its relationship with the United States. When Pakistan was first created, the country was seen as a potential ally for the United States in the face of growing communism in Asia. As a result, the U.S. provided Pakistan with significant amounts of aid and investment. However, this relationship began to sour in the 1960s when Pakistan's President Muhammad Ayub Khan began to pursue a more independent foreign policy. In 1965, Pakistan went to war with India, and the U.S. did not provide the Pakistani army with the expected support. This led to a deterioration in relations between the two countries, and the U.S. began to look elsewhere for allies in the region. By the time Pakistan was split in two in 1971, the relationship between the two countries had completely broken down. However, the U.S. would eventually come to see Pakistan as a potential partner in the fight against Soviet influence in Afghanistan. And so in the 1980s, the two countries began to normalize relations. Pakistan's President Zia-ul-Haq was a close ally of the United States during the war in Afghanistan, and he allowed American troops to use Pakistani territory to launch attacks on the Soviets. However, this relationship would once again sour in the 1990s when the United States accused Pakistan of supporting terrorist groups in the region. As a result, the U.S. cut off aid to Pakistan and imposed sanctions on the country. Overall, Pakistan has undergone significant changes. Since its independence in 1947, the country has experienced changes in government, foreign policy, and its relationship with the United States. These changes have been driven by a variety of factors, including the rise of communism, the creation of Bangladesh, the war in Afghanistan, and the global war on terror. Despite these changes, Pakistan has remained committed to its core values of Islam, and its people have been able to maintain their cultural and religious traditions while adapting to new circumstances. Now let's talk about how these changes have affected the people of Pakistan. The changes that Pakistan has experienced since its independence have had a profound impact on the people of the country. For example, the country's shift from a monarchy to a republic has meant that ordinary citizens have had more of a say in how they are governed. Additionally, the changes in Pakistan's foreign policy have had a direct impact on people's lives. For example, the deterioration of relations with the United States in the 1960s led to a decline in economic aid and investment, which had a negative impact on ordinary Pakistanis. Similarly, the war in Afghanistan in the 1980s saw an influx of refugees into Pakistan, which put a strain on the country's resources. However, despite these challenges, the people of Pakistan have shown remarkable resilience. They have been able to adapt to changing circumstances and maintain their cultural and religious traditions. The next thing I want to talk about is how these changes have affected Pakistan's economy. Pakistan's economy has been significantly impacted by the changes the country has experienced since its independence. For example, the country's large population and limited natural resources have made it difficult for Pakistan to achieve sustained economic growth. Additionally, the cost of defending its borders with India and Afghanistan has also been a drain on the Pakistani economy. However, despite these challenges, Pakistan has made some progress in recent years. The country has a thriving agricultural sector and a growing industrial base. Additionally, Pakistan has a number of talented workers who are employed in a variety of industries. With continued investment in education and infrastructure, Pakistan has the potential to become a major player in the global economy. We have discussed a lot about the changes in Pakistan after independence. Now it's time to wind up this discussion. If you liked the video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel Pakistan Freedom. Also share your thoughts and feedback in the comments section below. We would love to hear from you. Thanks for watching.